Okay, I live by game development builds you. I have not built a game yet, but that is what drug me kicking and screaming through computer science at WSU after I switched from graphic design and betrayed my creative past, absolutely demolished it. Building games builds Wichita. My mentality is that you don't need an ocean to make a video game, right? I mean, and going through that exercise, even if you don't want to ever play a game or build a game, try it once and get over that hump of doing something scary. What do you need? You need a computer in most cases, unless you're talking board games. That's cool too. The internet, technical people, and creative people. If you are one or most of those things, fantastic. If you usually program, try drawing and then just get better at it. I'm not going to go through the list. I didn't read the spec that it was 15 seconds per slide. You said 15 seconds per slide. I read it as 20. But the pairings of these notoriously tech-driven, Valve prints money, and California gets 2 slides. But you got all these big tech companies where if you get burnt out at Google, you can, or Bookface, you can go to, and then you can go to one of a bazillion game dev studios. Or try to start your own. And it's a perfectly viable thing, a perfectly viable aspiration, if nothing else for the exercise, the mental exercise. And that's why I'll someday do it. And in Texas, I mean, they're sending both our phone calls and our personal data that we didn't know we were spending into space along with people. And yeah, you get tired of that, you go to Blizzard or some company that buys game development studios. Is it a coincidence that all of these tech-heavy, is it chicken egg? You know, maybe. That they have studios and this extreme bench strength for engineering prowess and creative prowess. But you get to jump around. Wichita, not so different. We have engineers, no shortage of engineers. Look at all the exclamation points after aircraft, right? But we're not just the aircraft capital. Coke, NetApp, I mean, and there are people hiding out there. They don't have to have a webpage. There are people solving really amazing problems. And creative, not problems, but endeavors as well. Final Fridays, Creative Rush. You don't have to look very far than Wichita to find people taking what they've got and running with it. So we've established that they all have these things in common. Our game dev studio list could stand to grow a little bit. We've got one, you've got a slide, and but most importantly, we've got people who are motivated by challenge and who want to stay here. I mean, if it's family or just because you want to make your own rules, we've got people who aren't just willing to do it, that they want to do it. And there's what does that mean to you? How can game dev help you? There's always something new, fun, challenging, and scary to do, whether it be something very small or maybe your game idea is huge. Just go for it. And game dev and ICT, I've kind of already hit on that, but businesses stand to benefit to hire people like that who hunt for things new, fun, challenging, and scary to do, like talking in front of all these people. And so, personally, game dev and me. You already mentioned ICT Game Jam. It's happening again this July. Can't wait. And this has been a big driver for me in terms of just motivation that I take back to work. And so I want to highlight some people. All of these game dev alums. Charles Burnham, you know, programming day job. You know, he doesn't make bank making games, but he does it. And it's why he got started. And he takes those things that he learns with game development and motivates his work on the clock. Same with Michael Acker. Learned programming by making games, recently been focusing on music. Why the heck not? It's not that scary once you take on something that seems scary at first. And David McGraw, Movement Solutions, iOS freelance dev. He works for startups like Disney. And he likes the point of familiarity. Like you say, I'm familiar with this part of game dev. How can I get more into physics or math? And then it's just that little bit you got to turn up the crank. QuickDraw Studio, straight out of ICT Game Jam. But they are tackling game dev and approaching game dev from a really awesome way. Coming to local businesses like Hopping Gnome. It's because I'm in this brewery, I can't remember the other one. Hopping Gnome made a game for him. It's a blast. You should check it out. Building games builds Wichita. Even if it only motivates you temporarily and you find out it's not for you, then you've at least tried. And if you are interested, hunt me down. I will find people to get you started.